our life. We always want to be able to present our best side, irrespective of other things, right? We don't want to be. That's part of our animal side, right? We want to be able to, it's like a protection thing too, right? It's a thing where we want to be protected and put forward our best side and don't want to bring anybody down. It takes a lot for me to share things that maybe have been a little challenging. I'm just gonna leave that one there. For those of you that I am close enough to that I would share what's been going on, most don't know. So we'll just kind of leave that there. Anyway, so I actually got some really crazy, super passionate. Um, I'm gonna. My dog pushes my desk. I mean, let's face it, not a small dog, right? If you've seen her, she's somewhere hanging around here, and just doing her thing called sleeping. All right. Like I said, I did get some halfway decent downloads. It's been a bit of a scramble for me. I got up super late. I'm usually up very, very early. And a good friend woke me up with a call. And it was super incredibly, awesomely timely. It's like, oh crap, I overslept. Yeah, I'm usually up like 4 or 5 a.m. and just kind of carrying out the day. So today is the 21st of February. Yesterday, obviously the 20th. And this came in fairly late, got super passionate, but there's been, like I said, some pretty heavy stuff that's been going on in the last couple weeks that I think all of us are going to be needing to, I don't want to say deal with, but manage. Because everybody's got stuff in their life, and even though you might expect something, when it actually happens, oh golly gee willikers, it's still hard, right? And when I spoke this out, talking about my mind traveling back to the days when I homeschooled the boys, it was a situation where I was very much into the Christian religion here in America, very traditional. And something started tugging at me that was very non-traditional. And all of the things that I was picking up then are now making sense. Here we are, number of years later. And, I said for some reason my mind traveled back several years when I was homeschooling, and steeped into the religion of Christianity. I see the reason that my mind went back there. That may come forward. Don't know. We have been going to church for a few years, and we had part of the curriculum, what I was teaching the boys. We focused on doing a study of portions of scripture. It was a warm day, and I walked through the hallways of the house, and they were studying, and something hit me. It just stopped me in my tracks. Tears came to my eyes. I do remember that. And I felt like, oh, well, instantly filling up and telling me we have no idea who or what God is. Now, I know I phrased it a little different back then, but ultimately it's the same context, bringing it forward into today. Christianity, we have no idea what God we are worshiping. For that matter of fact, I don't even think we can say that with any religion. If you're worshiping anything, there is no solid means of knowing who and what you're placing your power into the grasp of. How many people have you heard say, take your power back? it didn't feel good about the second part, about having no idea what God is. And in Christianity, we have no idea what God we are worshiping. And it didn't feel good about that second part, but it did feel better or less daunting with the first part. Because, and this kept coming in as I was getting, up and ready and doing what you do in the morning, that a phrase came up of God within us, right? God within us. What God? But that's what scripture says is God within us, the Christ within us. And you guys all take that where it leads you in your particular position, place, belief system. And the only thing I ask is keep an open mind about it, take it where it leads, and use it to your benefit. And to your benefit is ultimately for all of us that it won't injure others. So that's the only true benefit that we can really reap is when we benefit from something that it does not harm others who don't want to harm others. Does that make sense? Because we can harm others who want to harm people. I don't know if I have a problem with that. Let's get back to this. So in this realm, ultimately, what the message was is that this God, deity, entity, Lord, if you will, is unknowable. That leads me to Gnosticism. I don't remember what I put in there. I'm not sure about many of the other ancient writings by the Bible, definitely, but the Bible definitely says that God is unknowable. Gnosticism does too. I believe that sounds something like you might hear from Hermetics. Just, dictating this stuff in. It's really kind of funny. But God is unknowable? So does that mean we don't know ourselves? Ooh, boy. Right. I guess I have to ask who, when, what God is. Most Christians view God as an external force, as an external entity, as something outside of self. I personally don't necessarily think that that's a wrong perspective because we are very much cut off, good word, good phrase, because that's kind of a word picked up from what I used to hear in my Christian teachings that I received. That is, man is cut off from God because of sin, which the latter part of that phrase, I'm not particularly aligning with that. And that's been part of the expression, but not really a bastardized version. And it's like a way of controlling people, right? It's a bastardized position for a means to controlling people and making them feel they are lesser than who they are. Making us feel lesser than who or what we are. Anything that makes us feel lesser than who or what we are, we need to get a grip on that one. That can go, that whole topic can go a whole separate track because in this reality is ultimately about trying to figure out what this God source thing entity is. And maybe some of the people that I talk to on a daily, they don't get what I'm talking about here. It's very deep. But many of the people that I've forged relationships with feel they have a grip on what I'm talking about. The only thing I ask of for all is that always question yourself, always question where you're getting your information from. And if you feel solid in your knowledge, start questioning that. Why do I feel solid in my knowledge? A lot of people are talking about it's a simulation or that we're in, and that it's a belief system that individuals' belief system is not going to carry a lot of weight against nearly 8 billion people. So if I believe this one thing, that is my reality. And if other people don't align with it and they align with other things that are part of a larger group, that to me is like a system program. Not a system as in program, but it creates a level of comfort. We all want to be comfortable. And one of the common phrases that I recall hearing is that get comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm very private. I don't share with a lot of people. I don't even share with family. I don't have a huge roll of friends. What I do have is maybe 2 people, 3 people that I share things with that are deeply intimate to me. None of those 3 people, none of them have the same purpose in my life. They are all very different. They all have very different perspectives one to another. I mean, how many times have you met up with a friend and then you say to them, "Oh my God, you should meet my other friend," and you either say that to them or you think that. I don't feel that way about these 3 people because their views are that diverse. So for me, no one makes me feel totally 100% comfortable. So here's the caveat to that, and I'm getting off from what I read here or wrote here. This is the way I treat personally me. Y'all do what you need to do. But this is what it feels like to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Because there are aspects with these 3 individuals that are very, very different from one another. Might add a 4th one in there. That would probably be a good thing. But they all make me uncomfortable in one major facet of my own belief system. And I'm going to be flat out honest. I don't pay for people to watch. I don't pay people to subscribe. I don't buy subscribers. I don't care if someone watches this now while I do a live or otherwise. I have to do what's feeling right and in the moment for me, for where I'm at, for my growth, for my personal. And this is something I could switch that pronoun. We need to do for our personal growth, for our version of self that we want to emulate. Good word too, emulate, right? So a belief system that when we're on our own is not going to have a huge impact on what they're telling us is 8 billion people on this particular place, at this particular place, in this given particular frequency. And there's a reason I use that word. So there are nearly 8 billion other people and the 8 billion other entities, 8 billion other energies. One individual with one single thought can start that butterfly effect. I claim butterflies on this because I feel like this is a placing in the ether a true revelation. I avoid the word awakening because I think people have been kind of jaded with that word. You know, you kind of with our own programming, we get jaded with things and we have a tendency to kind of either turn a blind eye or we just don't want to deal with it. We say, oh, and we categorize people. We put people in categories that we shouldn't be doing. And ultimately, this butterfly effect initially feels like there's no impact. So as I'm recording this, I have myself, when you click on to record onto or to go live on YouTube, it brings you up and opens up that YouTube page. And I'm the only one watching this. And someone had asked me a long time ago, does it bother you when you have no one or you don't get a lot of views? No, I don't give a rat's. I don't give a rat's because when you put this out into the ether, it's the frickin' butterfly. And I'm saying that word because I'm on YouTube. I really am trying to work on because I have a really stressful day job and life happens to all of us. So I have to do what's right for me to keep me moving forward. So I'm just going to leave that one there. I hear people talk about the 100th monkey and I don't like that analogy either. I do like the idea of something as fragile as a butterfly flapping its wing to begin, and what will result is a tsunami of revelation. And I remember I was standing in my living room and I said that word, a tsunami of revelation. And I stood back up and that's all I got. That's all I got. I had to put the phone down. It didn't feel right for me to do anything else. So life happens. I don't care if people see this. I do care, but I don't care. I feel like people are going to see whatever they're going to see based on their particular desire in motivating and changing their life. If you want a better, all right, I'm going to use some bombs here. If you want a fucking better life, you got to fucking get it off of your ass and make it happen. Period. End of story. No different here. Meh. Right. So this is why I want to be able to do other platforms, talk to other people, and get people involved with themselves. I reached out to so many people who have told me, yes, I want to do this. Yes, I want to participate. Yes, I want to, see things happen and better my life and better the world. And here I sit with no one. So get off your ass and make it happen. Doesn't have to be through social media. It just has to be something that gets you, because I'm out of my comfort zone. I'm extremely private, very private. I'm not a party goer. I stay at home. I do things around my home. It's always been like that. Do I like it all the time? Not so much. I would rather be out in nature on a hill somewhere or tilling the garden or whatever. Whatever is going to float my frickin' boat at that given point in time, that's what I want to do. And if we aren't able to do that, then it's our own responsibility for taking charge of that. If you want to be with somebody, be with them. You want to talk to somebody? Talk to them. Call them. Don't send a frickin' text. Don't send an emoji. Don't send them a message. Hear the voice. See the face. That's more important than anything. All right. I'm off my soapbox now, at least for the time being. All right. So, as far as the cards go, because I think this is the longest I've talked in a while, because, I had some time off from work and there were some things that happened both at work and personally that made me take a deep breath, and life has just been upended again. Life has really been shifted. And when this is being done, I think we had that eclipse. So I like watching Chris Reck. Check him out if you like. Minnow Tarot. He's awesome. No filter. I like it. He is very knowledgeable about not just the tarot, but also about the astrological impacts and of what's going on. So we did have an eclipse, and then that in a little less than 2 weeks, 10 days, week and a half, we will be having a planetary alignment of 6 of our planets. And that's going to have like a major pull. So this is why I say maybe this is why what was brought up to me yesterday, because I was not comfortable. I don't want to start thinking about what happened um, in the last couple of weeks. Um, I'm going to leave that there. But just be prepared. Prepare now. Chris also had mentioned that the energy of these eclipses can remain with us for 6 months. So do a little research. See how these things can impact people that are sensitive to these things, and figure out how we can work with that particular, you can call it an energy. I consider it to be an impactful mindset. And again, 8 billion people are affected. Yes. Most have no awareness. Yeah. So I'm going to switch the camera over. I am going to put this over on Rumble. I don't know if I end this whole thing. I am recording, so I probably will do something different. I mean, more. It's gonna, I don't know. I can't say it's gonna be a short reading, but it is gonna be what it is gonna be. All right. I'm gonna try and angle this so I can see everything. I apologize, I didn't check the audio settings. I'm gonna try and I'm in the process. I'm sleeping in the living room because I've been in my place for 8 years and I haven't painted but one room, 1.5. I'm asking for help at this point, but anyway, yeah, my audio settings look good, y'all. And I pulled this deck out because I don't know, it was like last minute, and I thought I said, why am I being drawn to this deck? And it's like, oh well, you have to pull this one out. But I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not always comfortable with getting something that's clear, because I don't typically get the messages that are from the authors. And I really love Colette Baron Reed, and you can subscribe to her on Facebook. I don't know if she's on YouTube. I don't know. I'm gonna move my microphone, so sorry if it makes some noise. Excuse me. But we all need a good place. We all need to be in a place where we're gonna do the best possible, or produce the best possible version of ourselves that we can. I just took a little sip. All right, so let's start with I'm gonna have to pull that curtain because it's right in my eyes. Like I said, I slept in a little bit. I'm usually up at like sometimes as early as 3 in the morning, which is kind of nice because I know people overseas, and I don't, whatever. Let's see what the spirit has involved in information, because the information is always accepted with gratitude. I mean, gratitude is a huge part of what we're trying to get through, and not really emote, but embody. I don't know. It's always revealed to us, not necessarily for our highest good, but to our highest benefit, because good has the like a moral or judgment. You know, you have a sliver in your finger. Did it feel good to have it pulled out? Probably not, but it was good for us. So maybe if you could, we can kind of keep that in mind, because when we pull this information, like pulling a sliver, we're drawing from the source, the original thought, source, and word. And these communications can often be guided by other energies and entities, and frequencies, really. I mean, ultimately, that's what we're looking for. All right. Comfortable, uncomfortable. This is just going to be like random. This is not past, present, future. Um, it just is what it is. All right, 3 on top. Well, there's 2. King of Wands. And again, this okay, so wands is a very it's okay, spicy. It's a spicy energy. It's something that's spicy, energetic, it's taking action. So yes, we need to take action. And there's mastery here. And because he's got his back to us, what we're seeing, and there's some serious focus here. So it's a focused energy, and it's like we're juggling a lot of different things, but we can handle it. If there are things you need to get rid of or down, put it lower down on the priority list, okay, I'll say downgrade. And ultimately that can mean that there is a less attention given to something, so the result is going to be maybe in our limited view as being less productive, maybe. All right, 5 of Wands. So it's practice. It's practice this, baby steps, little steps, learning, learning the journey of what's left to learn and doing it quickly, not waiting. Baby steps. It doesn't mean taking crazy, outlandish risks. It means baby steps. If I wanted to learn how to do weightlifting, I wouldn't be going out and lifting, 100 pounds. I'm going to start with something much smaller. And depending on whether you want to do muscle building or just strength building or whatever you want to do, it's going to depend where your starting point is and your current status. That's what I say. We got to be really, really open. All right. I just heard more. Right. So taking one step at a time, baby steps. Staying, and that's what's going to help us stay grounded. And again, I don't do like the really traditional stuff. But I kind of get that because I look at the imagery and everybody's got a different interpretation, right? The Knight of Pentacles, and he's dealing with the light and the dark. But it's not just light and dark. You know what it is? Because I can't see it when I look at it, but I can definitely see in this that there is the divine masculine on this side and there's the divine feminine on that. That looked kind of cool, didn't it? Those are the lights off of my PC. That's kind of funny, but they're pink and blue mostly. There's a little bit of green in there. I'm gonna have to turn it off and clean it out. It's all glass, so that's why you can see everything. Anyway, I digress. Squirrel. Okay. What else? 7 of Cups. We are spoiled for choice. I feel like there's another card, and there is. All right, we are spoiled for choice. And it's making the time, taking the time, subverting maybe some fear, anxiety, trepidation, um, checking in with it, checking in with yourself. She's so serious. My God, look at her face. She's so freaking serious. Don't be serious. Oh my gosh. Do you see that? Do you see the faces in the cups? Do you see the faces in the cups? Two eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Do you see that? Oh my gosh, on both sides. So this is a multi-dimensional experience and we need to be tapping in. I never saw that in this card before. Yo! Wow. Give me a second here. And because when I pull it away, I don't see it. I just see the cups. But when oh my gosh, I see that in the camera because the resonance. Oh, it's to bring our attention to the resonance and perspective. And again, this has got to be with the baby steps and making sure that we're not being judgmental with other people, much less ourselves. Wow. This is going to facilitate something that's going to be uncomfortable. And it's of the mind. It's not a physical pain. However, we can create physical pain with our thoughts. So that's because of our subconscious. If you think about something that happened to you that was painful, you can in your reality remember something historical in your life, and it will bring forward those same pains and experiences. There's a victory. So with all of this, because this is the uncomfortable, this is the revelation of this whole idea of bringing something to fruition, tying the knot in a bag on an idea, sealing the deal. And that can make us really uncomfortable. Making a commitment can make us uncomfortable. When we accomplish that deed, it's a victory. It's the victory, right? That's the victory. I'm trying to get this set up here. So I've never done a layout like this before. All right, I'm actually being told no with this deck. Yes, no. Yes, say no. So those of you who do watch this, because I will post this on Rumble, I will be extending this reading on Rumble to kind of be able to do maybe a little bit of an in-depth discussion about what we can do to help ourselves, because I feel like a lot of what's coming toward us with all the insanity that's in the world, the inmates are running the asylum. You guys realize that, right? The crazy people are ruling the roost. It is crazy. That's why you say it's such a crazy world. This is such crazy. Why are they making these decisions? It's because we've allowed it to happen. And if you want to change it, you got to take those little baby steps towards that end result. Be that frickin' butterfly tsunami. And we'll just kind of go from there. 5. Might be more. Don't know. Let's start from what came out first. Holding on, can't let go, and clinging. So that's obsession. And it would be a good idea if we could just take ourselves to that next step. Being uncomfortable. I will have to be the first to admit that when I get overstressed, it's like I have this physical crash, and I'll just want to sleep. I'm going to take a sip here because I'm starting to feel a little parched. All right. I'm going to have to make some more coffee. Yeah, they're holding back, coming towards you, indecisive, procrastinating. I am so bad with procrastinating. So I'm there with everybody. We have been procrastinating about a lot of things that are critically important in our lives. I mean, it could be something important as, oh my gosh, okay, my head's running a lot faster than what my mouth can bring out. So, have you started your laundry? Say, I'm going to get all the laundry done, and the laundry is still sitting in the washer, in the dryer, and you have some in a basket ready to put away, and you got more clothes ready to go down and put into the laundry. Okay. And it seems like I'm going to get it all done. And you get down to that last one or two loads, and everything stops. So you start procrastinating because you see the end. I don't know why we do that. But procrastinating. Oh, okay, so what do I do? What do I do? Do I put it off? Do I do it? Do I take hold of it? The answer is yes. We should not be holding back because these things are coming towards us. We are not going to be given the opportunity to be indecisive, and procrastinating will only cause us. Yeah, okay. I almost put it down there. It's going to cause us some pain. This does not have to be painful, this Ten of Swords. We do feel like there is a deadline, time running out, on edge, intervention. Cannot wait any longer. Can't wait can't wait no longer. Okay, so that's why I'm struggling because I don't do double negatives in English. We are not supposed to. There are other languages that do, and that's perfectly fine, but this is English. So we can't wait any longer. We can't wait any longer. We can't procrastinate any longer. We have to take action with what we're doing. We have to be the one who intervenes. That will, it may or may not put us on the edge. That's not the important part. What is important is that we need that sense of urgency, because technically time does not run out. Everything runs in perfect timing. So take the initiative. Don't allow time to run out in your mind, and know that the timing is right for you. Just get off your duff. I'm getting off my duff. Tell you that right now. Oh my word. All right. You're not going to believe this. Devotion, can't stop smiling, happiness, and feeling complete. So I'm asking, does this go here? So when we get all these things accomplished, we have the outcome. It's butterflies, butterflies, butterflies. That's why we're going to need to stop procrastinating to have the victory. And when you look at those cards, those two, or the traditional card, it has two wands and two wands, right? And it's the couple who have just made a commitment. They're in celebration mode, and they're enticing us. It's not them who are moving towards us. It's we, as the viewer of this game, need to move through that portal, if you will, of victory, of celebration. And maybe this is what we need to be. We need to have a ravenous hunger within us that is insatiable, and that there are uncontrollable desires that we need to identify as healthy or unhealthy. We have to decide whether they are must haves or must not have. And pleasure, be careful with that, because things can give us pleasure that are not good for us. All right. So I'm not one who subscribes to twin flames, but there are probably some who do look at this and do. Shared feelings, mirrored emotions, your other half reflections of you. So if you really look at the definition of what this twin is, it's you. It's the unhealed you if you struggle with somebody like that. All right, I may or may not have to use this book. I pulled the book out just in case I don't get the imagery. I hope everybody is having a fabulous week. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Um, I've tried several language learning apps and programs, and the one I like personally is, oh, I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of but he's the boss, the Italian boss, Italian language learning. I don't remember, but he makes me laugh. He's got an amazing energy. He makes it a family affair. He gets his wife involved. I'm assuming that's his wife, significant other. But it's awesome. He just has the right energy, the right take and right perspective. What an amazing experience. Um, don't know why that even got brought up, but you can find people within your own culture or outside your culture. If you're comfortable with your own culture, step outside, pull something in. Doesn't have to be huge. Go outside your neighborhood because that's a cultural influence as well. 5. And I usually have the frequency cards. I don't have those today. Those were definitely something that I was surprised that I needed to pull off the table. Things are shifting around a lot. It's traveling lighter. I mean, I'm going to take a second here and count the decks I'm looking at that are not in camera. There's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's a book. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Then you got 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. And I know I've got several decks in another room. How much can we read? How much energy can we pull in? How many different ideas and perspectives can we accept from other people and other people's ideas? I say it's infinite. I say be open-minded. I say be very open-minded. Out to sea. To the sea. She's got her compass. She's got a sign. She's in a tub. She's not worried. I don't know. Is she taking a nap? She looks pretty comfy. Um, she's got her higher self or some other entity that's looking out for her. Can you kind of see his little face right there? Yeah, you should be able to see him. So yes, I am going to read from the card for this. To the sea. And I like the number 7. 5, 6, and I actually opened right up to it. So this is being in the flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together in a natural pattern of events. And that makes a lot of sense because ultimately we have to make things fit to a degree that it does not keep us stagnant. We don't want to be stagnant. There is a change in the wind. Y'all, it is not coming. It is here. That change in the wind is here. The zebra will always be the zebra. The stripes will always be there. But there is definitely a major change, a major shift. Let's see what the author has to say about it. 'Let's see what the author has to say about it. A sense that unseen change has been initiated. Wow. Preparation for a storm. This is really important because I really did. I heard somebody, can't call it right, but I did hear, oh, I have been hearing a lot of people talk about this shift, this change. There are multiple. My paradigm has shifted so many times in the last 8 months, and it's still moving. I have to shift this. All right. Preparation for a storm. Awareness that your plans are not firm ground. Feeling a shift, uncertainty about which direction the winds will blow. And that's okay. It's knowing that we did something and did what we could and remain flexible to these shifts and change. She's very comfortable. She's not worrying about anything. And when the winds come, she's probably going to still stay pretty comfortable. Let's see what else. Oh my goodness, time for a nap. So, self care 7, 12. Now we have 24. Right? Time for a nap. Oh my gosh, I did take some time off this past week, and I was so tired because I had something that I did know what was going to happen, but it was kind of like in the middle of the week sort of thing. And they said, "Oh, are you going to do this, this, and this after we're done here?" And it's like, you know what? I'm really tired. And even though, yes, I would feel good about going and doing the other activities that I was asked to do, I knew that what my physical form needed was rest. So I took a nap and I was able to process what had happened over the last couple of weeks. Still in that process, and that's okay because not everybody processes the things in the same way. All right, so let's see what the whole time for a nap is about. Rest, rejuvenation, and renewal. Temporary non action, allowing dreams to arise. You know, the truest form of friendship, truest form, is not just being there with somebody for the good times. The truest form of friendship is being there when it's not fun, when it's unpleasant, when it's uncomfortable, when it's hard. And that, I don't know, I don't want to get into specifics on that. You apply it to whatever you're going through at this given point in time. It feels like it's really, really heavy. Wow, because what happens is there is like a real exchange of gifts. That's our gift. That's our gift. This is our gift and being able to support one another when we're going through the harder times, through that chaos and conflict. You know, having been to a lot of funerals, unfortunately, in my life so far, thankfully, none of them have been mine, right? Um, that was a joke, by the way. Maybe bad joke, but nonetheless. So chaos and conflict. The chaos and conflict really happens before the passing, before this thing that they like. I don't like to call it death because it's not really a death. The energy lives on. So when there's that chaos and conflict, where that chaos and conflict is prior to, we say, oh, they had a peaceful passing. If there's chaos and conflict after the passing, that's a problem. It should have been dealt with before they left. And this is why we don't hold back, because it's always coming towards us. And it forces us to make those decisions. We can't be indecisive. And it behooves us to not be a procrastinator. Last card. And truth be told. This is like this window of opportunity or something. And these little red, they're hearts. I don't know if you can kind of see that. The owl represents the wisdom, right? So let's see about truth be told. Right? All right, I'll find it. It's like flipping to every page, but not. All right, honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. Communication is going to be key. And being who you are, being true to yourself, taking the freaking masks off. We all have to play those facets to make it work for us in a workplace or with family to a certain degree. But if it gets to the point where it's so uncomfortable for us to even be able to function, it might be time for us to tell that truth. Truth be told, tell yourself, don't stop lying to ourselves about what we need to do to live the best quality life. Be the butterfly. Be the butterfly. All right, that was it. Please do like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to work out how I can do this on Rumble. I'm going to switch the camera over. Oops, I pushed the wrong button, but that's okay. It'll make it work. Oh my goodness. Well, I really appreciate all of the YouTube peeps stopping by at some given point in time, y'all. We are coming up to spring. Things are going to get busy, 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 busy. And that's good. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. Staying busy, but don't be so busy as to not give yourself the time of day. We need to be able to spend more time with self. Okay. Wow, that cuts deep. Don't shelter. Don't hide. Don't hide yourself. And if people don't want to spend time with you, whether it's talking to you in whatever form that they do that, if they don't want to spend time, wow, this is like really hurting. If others don't want to make the effort to spend time with you, I don't know if it's time to move on or not. You have to make the call for that. But I get a sense of deep sadness and grief because there are a lot of people that will be moving on, whether it's on this plane or realm, or whether it's moving on into another. We just have to be ready for it. All right. Much appreciation. Again, do like, share, and subscribe and all that fun stuff. And we'll see you on the flip side.